Good morning, friends. So today we are going to be talking about multiplying decimals. Now, when we multiply decimals, we have to do two steps. So the first step is to multiply like normal. So we are going to do 6 times 1, which is 6. And then we're going to do 6 times 2, which is 12. And then we're going to do 7 times 1, which is 7. And 7 times 2, which is 14. And then we are going to add these all together. So 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 2 is 9. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus 0 is 1. Now we come to our second step. Where do we put the decimal? So if we look at the top number, 2.1, we know that the decimal was moved over one time. And then if we look at the second number, the decimal was moved over two times. And so for what you have to do is you have to take how many times the decimal was moved over in the first time and how many times the decimal was moved over in the second time, and add those two numbers together. So remember, I said that for the top number, the decimal was moved over one time, and for the bottom number, it was moved over two times. And if I add 2 plus 1, that is 3. So in my answer, I am going to start behind the 6, because that's where my invisible decimal point is. And I am going to move my finger over once, which will land me between the 6 and the 9, twice, which will land me between the 5 and the 9, and then a third time, and that will land me between the 1 and the 5, and that's where I put my decimal point. Now, friends, let's do another one. Let's do number 2. So we know 5 times 4 is 20. I'm going to put my 0 and carry my 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So I'm going to, I always do this, friends. So I am going to put my 2 down here and then carry my 1. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26. And now we're going to multiply the other side. 4 times 4 is 16. I carry my 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And 4 times 5 is 20. So we're going to go back here and we're going to put 20. And now we add this. That's a very bad 0, friends. And now we add this all together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 2 is 8. 9 plus 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, we carry our 1. 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 0 is 2. All right. Now for our second step, again, we have to take a look at 52. And we know that the invisible decimal point is behind the 4, and they went over one time. And then we know that the invisible decimal point is behind the 5, and they moved it over one time. And so for 1 plus 1 is 2, and that means in my answer, I am going to start behind the 0, and I will move it over one time to land between the 8 and the 0. And then I have to move it over one more time and land between the 5 and the 8. And that's where I will put my decimal point. Now, let's do number 3. Number 3 says 9 times 2 is 18, and I carry my 1. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 1 is 46. So I put my 1, I carry my 4. It's a very bad 4, friends. 9 times 4 is 32, plus another 4 is 36. Now we're going to do 8 times 2 is 16. I carry my 1. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 1 is 41. 8 times 4 is also 32, plus 4 is going to be 36. So for this, friends, I'm going to scooch this one over here. And then I'm going to draw just a little line, and then so that we know these are separate. All right? So then we have 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 6 is 12. We carry our 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. 6 plus 3 is 9. And 3 plus 0 is 3. So our answer is 39,828. But we have to do the second step, and we have to put our decimal point in. So if we look at the top number, the invisible decimal point is behind the 2, and they moved it over 2 spaces to land between the 4 and the 5. And then if we look at the bottom number, the invisible decimal point is behind the 9, and they moved it over one time to land between the 8 and the 9. So that's 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So that means in my answer, I have to start behind the 8 with my invisible decimal point, and then I move it over once to land between 2 and 8, twice to land between 8 and 2, and 3 times to land between 9 and 8. We see it there, friends? It's kind of big. All right. So this is just a short video showing you how to multiply decimals. If you are struggling with the multiplication, I suggest that you use the multiplication chart that I provided in the Google Classroom, or that you use a calculator. And if you are still struggling, please leave me a comment on our Google Classroom, and I will do my best to help you. Bye, guys.